I guess it's safe to say that both Sony and Disney executives want to keep Spider-Man in the MCU forever. For good. And that's really good news. And I have more on the topic right after the intro. Hey everybody, welcome to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more, and tonight's going to be a pretty short one. Today I'm going to talk to you about something rather important, especially to the fans that are a huge fan of Marvel Comics and, of course, Marvel's Spider-Man in the MCU. So the article that I bring to you today is by Robert Workman from superherohype.com, and it says here that Sony and Disney executives want to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. Last year, Spider-Man was almost pulled out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But eventually, Sony and Disney managed to reach a deal for a new MCU Spider-Man movie coming in 2021 and other potential tie-ins. However, it sounds like the studios aren't eager for another Spider-Man divorce. During the Hollywood Reporter's recent studio executive discussion, Sony and Pictures chairman Tom Rothman and Disney chief executive creative officer Alan Horn discussed how everything managed to come to terms over Spider-Man. The fan base, which is most important to all of us, seemed to really respond to what Tom Rothman and his folks had done before with our people. And they like it, explained Horn. They like the fact that the MCU and Kevin Feige were involved, and we heard feedback out there that suggested joining forces once again was probably a really good idea. Actually, it was an extremely good idea. I think this was a classic win-win-win, added Rothman. I think it was a win for Sony, and I think it was a win for Disney, and I think it was a win for the fans. Oh, yes, it was. I think everybody won. Now the real question is, what happens next? Tom Holland's Peter Parker Spider-Man will also appear in another MCU film down the road. But outside of that, another extension would need to be put in place. Regardless, Rothman said he is hopeful the two sides can reach an agreement. Marvel Sony's last two Spider-Man films were very successful at the box office. Last year, Spider-Man Far From Home managed to clear the $1 billion mark worldwide. Sony, Disney, and Marvel would likely hope for another standout performance by the next Spider-Man movie. Would you like to see the Spider-Man deal extend beyond the films in development? Let me know in the comment section below. I think it's great that both executives from both sides are acknowledging the fact that Spider-Man in the MCU is probably the best thing that could have happened. And I'm also satisfied and just really grateful that big companies such as Sony and Disney, who you think wouldn't really care about people like you and me, who are just basic, regular schmoes, that they're listening to feedback. Kind of like what Paramount did when we sent out feedback about Sonic the Hedgehog not looking the way we liked him to look. This is great. This is a trend, and I think because of that, it kind of started like a revolution, whereas now big movie studios really get to actually listen to the fans and and they get to reciprocate in a positive way, and everybody wins. And I think this is a really big deal, honestly. Yes, Sony and Disney are set to make another Spider-Man film, at least one more as far as we know, because the deal is to make 3 films and to have them tie in to other films. So I think it was a total of like 6 or 7 films, I'm not sure. But being the fact that both executives from both companies really want to keep Spider-Man for an extended period of time, with the conclusion of the 3rd Spider-Man film, they're going to have to make a new agreement and just settle the arrangements as far as where Spider-Man should show up and if they can make more Spider-Man movies in the MCU universe. So I'm thinking, yes, keep him in the MCU, and Sony, yes, you can do what you want with the character so long as it ties in with Marvel Studios' universe, of course. And yeah, and everybody wins, everybody's happy. And right now, as I'm making this video, I'm actually just thinking back a few months ago, actually, where we received the terrible, dreadful news that Spider-Man was leaving the MCU for good because they couldn't make an arrangement. And it scared us straight, honestly. And I think it was like a move that they made just to have Spider-Man trending in social media, because it was trending for weeks. And I think it only went on for about 3 weeks. And within the 3-week time period where we were devastated and just disappointed that Spider-Man was leaving the MCU, next thing you know it, they made a new agreement and they're actually going to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. So he's due for another film and also due to make an appearance in other Marvel Studios films. So it's really exciting that both Sony and Disney acknowledge the fact that this is very important to the fans. And of course, it's very important to them because, you know what? let's face it, Spider-Man brings in the big bucks into the box office and everybody wins. Sony wins, Disney wins, and so do the fans. So you let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Spider-Man being in the MCU is the best thing that could ever happen to the character? Or should Spider-Man revert back to Sony? Let's hope not. Anyways, that's all for tonight, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. And of course, I do live streams Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays between 9 p.m. and 12 a.m. So be sure to tune into those because they're a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.